After watching the rest of the NFL games on Sunday, I think it's fair to say the Eagles' sloppiness was a bit warranted. A lot of teams had that week 1 rust factor, but nonetheless, a win is a win. They come out 1-0 and they're on to the next one. And today we're going to break down 2 hidden gems that were found in week 1 that I think can really change the way people are thinking about this team and some of their weaknesses. And of course, we need to laugh at our division rivals because they are giving us pure comedy. Welcome on into A to Z Philly. I'm RB. Do me a favor, like and subscribe to our channel if you do enjoy the content. But we must start out with Saquon Barkley, because if you live in this area or you are in the Philadelphia atmosphere, culture, or even in online groups or presences or channels, whatever it may be, you know that Saquon is the talk of the town right now. That debut, electric, 3 touchdowns in your Eagles debut. That is still giving me chills. I want to run through a damn wall for Saquon Barkley, and that was just an incredible way to put your footprint in. And right now, after week 1, he is holding 2 spots in the top 5 best-selling jerseys in the NFL. Kelly Green and Midnight Green, number 2 and number 5. You got to love it, man. That is just awesome. People showing their love. And if Saquon can continue to do what he did in week 1, this is going to be a very special offense. Now, speaking of Saquon, the team that let him go so stupidly that we knew was a mistake when it happened, the New York Giants are an absolute crap show right now. They get blown away in week 1, and I'm sorry, I have to laugh because all offseason I said the Eagles should win this division by multiple games. The Commanders might even be able to come in second. I thought they looked okay yesterday. They still got blown away on the defensive side of the ball. But Dallas looked pretty good. I still have them coming in second or third. But the Giants, I've always said, are going to be the bare bottom. They're going to be terrible. They're going to be awful. And they proved already that their season is over. People are saying they're eliminated. They're done. They lose 28-6. They had Sam Darnold looking like Joe Montana, starting off 12 for 12 in that game. And I can't get enough of it. All right, Bleacher Report puts this out. Daniel Jones has thrown 3 pick sixes and only 2 touchdowns. 3 pick sixes and only 2 touchdowns since signing his 4-year contract extension. And Daniel, I'm not laughing at you, man. All right, you seem like a good guy. You seem like a genuine person. But what I am laughing at is your nauseating fan base that after 1 playoff win against Kirk Cousins, who, by the way, was awful yesterday. We'll get to him later. But Kirk Cousins, 1 win against him in the playoffs. Then you got whooped by Philly and never recovered. Those fans thought that the Giants were building some kind of dynasty. And last year they were nauseating, and this year they have already started off even worse. Even to the point where Giants fans have had enough. They are burning Daniel Jones jerseys in the parking lot, and they are even heckling him after the game. They stayed around just so he could walk by and get heckled. This is crazy. If this was Eagle fans, they would be calling us the worst fan base in America. But the Giants are a comedy show. Their season is over. They stink. Daniel Jones doesn't have it. It's crazy, and I know how it feels. It's gut-wrenching in week 1 to look at a quarterback and say, damn, we know he can't win any games. But right now, Eagle fans are sitting back laughing because we tried to tell you. But hey, hard knocks, right? The GM thought that Daniel Jones would be more valuable than Saquon Barkley. Another team in the division that is causing us some laughs this morning, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys agreed to a record deal. 4 years, $240 million, $231 guaranteed, an $80 million signing bonus. Dak Prescott, good regular season quarterback, will win you a lot of games in the regular season. Never comes up in the big moment. Always looks like a deer in headlights when it comes to the playoffs. I'm very happy they signed this. I didn't think they were going to. Mike McCarthy should have been fired a long time ago. He's still there. They give CD the contract, haven't given Micah the contract yet. And now Dak Prescott is there and he's getting paid $60 a year. The Eagles continue to win on days that they don't even play. And I love it. Cowboy fans will probably like the move. Eagle fans like it even more. But okay, let's talk about the Eagles' hidden gems. Because Zach Bond, you want to talk about bang for your buck? They signed this guy for less than $2 million. Vic Fangio advocated for him, and he comes and leads the Eagles in almost every category on Friday night. 4 pressures, 2 hurries, 2 sacks, 15 tackles, and 7 stops in his Eagles debut. The Eagles have had a lot of questions at the linebacker position. Devin White doesn't even travel with the team. There's talks about him being on the trading block, and there's a lot of controversy. So you know what Zach Bond does? He is a competitor. He steps up and says, don't even worry. I got your back. I got you covered. This guy, even watching on the TV, sometimes players just pop off the screen. This guy was literally everywhere. He was flexing. He brought the energy. I loved him after week one. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. We saw last year there were a couple games and glimpses where, Cunningham, Morrow looked pretty good, but Zach Bond was elite, as it says here. He was amazing. And if he can be a leader of the defense, oh my gosh, talk about an absolute value player, a steal. Let's talk about another hidden gem, Mekhi Becton, who nobody's talking about. They bring this guy in, and Tyler Steen was supposed to be the starter. He was by far in the lead for that position, and then he got hurt a couple times. Mekhi Becton comes into camp. He's throwing up 10 times on the first day, getting back out there. Who cares about the water, right? I'm out there, I'm hustling. And the players were commending him and supporting him and talking high about him. Well, guess what? This guy may have just revitalized his career. Again, I know it's only week one. Maybe he just went to Stoughton University, which always has great graduates. But Mekhi Becton playing out of position, first game ever at right guard, taking over in a starting role late in camp. And look at what he did in his first game. 0 pressures allowed, 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hits, and 0 hurries. He was 100% perfect. He protected Jalen Hurts, and he did everything and more that you could ask for. Obviously, the Eagles' O-line still has some questions. Obviously, we need to see better communication with Cam Jurgens and Jalen Hurts, right? And Jordan Mailata maybe got beat once or twice, and Lane Johnson's getting up there in age, and we do have some potential issues at O-line. But right guard was one that we constantly flagged, that we alarmed. And right now, if Mekhi Becton continues to do at least 75% of what he did on Friday night, then I think it takes away a lot of the concern we have. And I think the O-line is in a much better shape. Again, only one game. Need to see what happens. But Jeff Stoutland might be a freaking mastermind because he does it every single time. He takes players that don't ever play football before, makes them into Pro Bowlers. He brings guys over where it looks like their careers may be done, and now he is rejuvenated. Now, we've obviously been talking a lot about Jalen Hurts, right? Some of his decision-making was crazy on Friday night, but he also came through with some big plays to win the game, especially on that final drive. But one thing you can't refute is that Jalen Hurts was excellent against the blitz. A lot of motion, a lot of pre-snap stuff from Kellen Moore. I thought Kellen Moore drew up a masterful game plan, but according to Next Gen, Jalen Hurts was 6 for 7 for 91 yards and a touchdown versus the blitz on Friday. Jalen was decisive in the situations and knew where his answers were versus pressure. Good change from most of 23. And that's something I did notice earlier in the game as well. He was doing a very good job of getting rid of the ball. I'm excited to see more of like the all-22 and things like that. But Jalen Hurts, man, was really good against the blitz. And if he can continue to keep this up and go through his reads and also learn how to evade the pocket, without taking these huge sacks or without forcing that final throw like it looked like he was trying to do, late in the third and fourth quarter, then he can have a really good season. The decision-making will separate whether this is a good or great season. And also, the Eagles had a potent offense, as we knew they would in week one, and they need to continue this. But, man, all the weapons in action. Eagles are the only team in week one to have a 100-plus yard rusher and 2 receivers for over 75 yards in the same game. We still have a couple more today, but their offense was by far, probably the most successful in week one. And we knew that these weapons would show up. AJ Devontae had a really underrated game, by the way. What do you have? 84 yards, 7 catches. Devontae always shows up. Saquon, Dallas, these guys were incredible. The Eagles will play the Falcons next week, Monday night, and Kirk Cousins was Kirk Cousins. I mean, he 16 for 26, 155, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, and he disappeared in the second half. The Falcons lost to a backup quarterback in Justin Fields, who can barely sling the ball. Had a pretty good game yesterday, but the Steelers are nothing crazy, and they go and beat Atlanta in Atlanta, and I just don't understand how Kirk continues to get paid. 36 years old, gets 4 years, $180 million. The Eagles are going to devour this guy. He does not show up in primetime. I hope Vic Fangio brings a lot of pressure. That is how you get to Kirk Cousins. He's never really won much, and he disappeared again. So Falcons fans are already frustrated. They're going to try to come out hungrier to get that first win. But if they look like they did yesterday, the defense looked pretty solid. But man, Kirk Cousins is just Kirk Cousins. He always does this. Lastly, Haason Reddick still sitting out tonight. He will not be playing for the Jets, and he'll be giving up $800,000. That's just mind-boggling to somebody like me. I know I'm not a professional athlete, but man, this is on top of more than $5 million in NFL-mandated fines he has already accumulated. How we bring him back? At this point, bring him back. What do you think? But I appreciate everybody for tapping in. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, get active in the comments, and I will catch you all on the next one.
Discover BetMGM Casino and leap into a world filled with all your favorite casino games. Plus exclusive ones you can't find anywhere else. And progressive jackpots that keep growing. All of it right at your fingertips. BetMGM Casino. Start your adventure today